All right, and we're back with another edition of the Scotty No Show. This is episode 76 overall, season 6, or no, season 2, episode 6. We got a few different guests on the show. Ian and Bryson could not make it this week. So we've got the return of Jackson Bruce. Jackson, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Scotty?
Good. This is your first time in, I think, a little over a year
It's
on the
been a,
show.
it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think we did like a baseball draft of some sort.
I think we did. I think we did.
Yes. Yes. And then we also have the debut of Brian Menning. Brian, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for the invite, Scotty. Excited to be here. My very first podcast. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh yeah. Brian, you've got you doing the Go Buffs Live thing this week?
Yes, plan on streaming all the Stanley County events again this year, as many as I can. So yeah, we'll start with football this Friday and hit volleyball on Tuesday.
All right. And obviously Stanley County plays Sully Buttes. It's a game that I cannot root for anybody in that game. Low key expecting either team could win that, honestly. And then Jackson, you're a teacher now?
I am a teacher now. I am teaching 7th grade PE and health.
Oh wow.
Very nice.
Yes. So what does that mean for the radio station? Is that no longer happening?
Well, still going to be doing Outside Scoop. We're making a few. We're just taking the week to let me do in service, and then Outside Scoop's going to be popping again.
All right. Yes, and you have started your own podcast. I've been on it before. It's an awesome podcast. You just had Tommy John on the show.
Yeah. Tommy's a great guest. Tommy is a very opinionated individual when it comes to politics and when it comes to the way the game is played now. He was an awesome guest. I encourage you guys to listen if you haven't yet.
And what can you tell me about this Zap baseball thing?
Yeah. So we got this baseball group that includes me and 6 others that is looking to replace the Trappers. We call ourselves Zap Baseball, just for an LLC name. We have some silent partners. We have some partners who are named, which have been named in the Capital Journal and all that stuff. So we're just waiting on the city's approval. We sent in our proposal on Thursday, about 24 hours ahead of the deadline. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens when it comes to that. So hopefully we get the bid and we can do baseball right here in Pierre.
All right. By the way, I love the Hawaii shirt. I love that.
Thanks. Got this on my honeymoon.
Yeah. So we're just gonna get right into the draft. We're not even gonna talk about Deshaun Watson getting booed mercilessly in Jacksonville, or Zach Wilson sustaining, luckily, just a small meniscus tear. But we're gonna draft our favorite NFL plays. Now, there are some rules to this, because I don't want us to overload with just plays of our favorite team, one per team.
One per team? Okay.
Yes. So you can't pick like 5 different Packer plays as much as you might want to make this the Aaron Rodgers appreciation show.
Well, his plays are the best.
but by the way, I just see you have a Milwaukee Bucks hat on too.
I do.
It's a vintage.
I bought this for the Young Gravy concert. I wanted to look fly with my dad hat with all the young people.
So yeah, one per team. So Who I believe, you know what, Brian, since you're kind of the elder statesman here, you get to start.
All right, well, I kind of misread your message when you had sent it initially, so I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. So now is it just our personal favorite plays, or is it an NFL
Yes.
history type of thing, or
Yes,
just
your personal favorite plays.
personal favorite plays? All right.
Yes.
Well, then I will start with, I guess, the obvious as a San Diego / LA Chargers fan. I'm going to go back to the playoff game in 1994 against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game, where it was Dennis Gibson who knocked away a potential pass at the goal line to allow the Chargers to advance to their first and only Super Bowl.
Okay. Didn't Junior Seau also make like a really great play in that game, or am I
He made a
misremembering that?
tackle, maybe a play or two before that. That also, yes, kind of uh, kept him, probably within the 5 yard line area or something of that nature. I believe it was Barry Foster at the time. I can't exactly remember the Steeler, but
And you
yeah,
said it
you
was an
were.
IN. You said it was an INT.
No, he just batted the ball down. It was a fourth
Okay.
down play. He just batted the ball down near the goal line.
Now the play that before we jumped on this, the play that I was kind of foreshadowing that I would be surprised if you didn't pick it was I think it was Antonio Cromartie's 109-yard return on a field goal against the Vikings.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
That reminds me of another one I might have to
Yes.
throw out there, but
Jackson, you can go next.
All right. So my favorite football play. Honorable mention, since we can only name one Packer one, my honorable mention is when Nick Collins picked six Big Ben in the Super Bowl. That was great. Big Ben being a big-time QB is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. He stinks. He stinks. He gave up one of the worst pick sixes. Like, what's he doing? Nick Collins took it to the house. But my number one draft pick, BJ Raji, in the NFC Championship game, picking off Caleb Haney and showing everybody what the fridge is about. Picks it off and almost fumbles it because Haney about takes it out of his hand, but he got his foot in the end zone and then he did the hula dance. So I'm going with the BJ Raji pick six NFC Championship game.
That man had moves too, I might add.
I love Raji. I got a Raji jersey in the closet.
Really?
I do. I actually got that after he was drafted, and nobody knew who he was. And then after that game, I wore it on that Monday, and everyone loved it. They're like, "Oh, dude, the Raji jersey." I'm like, "I've had this all year." I love Raji.
Was he he wasn't an Oregon guy, was he?
Boston College, I believe.
Boston College, yeah. That's a good pick. So you would expect me to go with a Viking pick with my first overall pick. You would unfortunately be wrong. My first pick, I'm gonna take you back. It's Thanksgiving 2012, and it's the second quarter, and the Patriots are playing the Jets. Mark Sanchez goes back to throw, and he can't find anybody to throw to, so he runs into his offensive lineman's ass and fumbles the ball. I'm going with the butt fumble.
Butt fumble?
the
Round
butt fumble,
one?
yes.
Yes.
Love that.
It's the funniest play in NFL history.
That's an incredible pick. That's immaculate, Scotty.
Yes. And then my number 2 pick, I will go with a Viking pick. I want to say it was 2003, and the Vikings were 5-0. The Denver Broncos were 5-1. It was the last play before halftime. Dante Culpepper throws it to Randy Moss. Randy catches it, and he gets turned around, and he flips the ball to Mo Williams for a touchdown.
Oh, like this?
Yep.
Yeah, Mo Williams.
Yep, the Mo Williams play. It's one of the most ingenious just plays that I think Randy Moss ever had. and it might have won the game for the Vikings on that one. So, yeah.
I like that. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I do recall that play. So yeah, that is a good pick.
Yeah. So Jackson, you get your second pick.
All right. My second pick might be so Mark Sanchez was a blooper.
Yes.
But I don't know if there's going to be any bloopers like what I'm about to talk about because I was there for the game. One of my favorite plays of all time was the game that I was at. And it was in the, if I believe correctly, the wild card round, Seahawks, Vikings. And I'm sitting in the stands, and I'm wearing my Richard Sherman jersey that my buddy let me borrow. And I thought, everybody around me is telling me that Blair Walsh is about to take the team to the next round of the playoffs. And much to my fanhood, I was very excited when at the last second I thought, what if he misses this? And he missed it. And the Seahawks ended up going to the next round. That is, I will say I'm partially biased to this because I was at the game, but man, was that it was that one of my favorite plays. I watched a whole stadium file out like it was a funeral. The only thing I heard was a guy kick a railing and yell F. It was amazing. It was I was a part of history, I felt like, because I'm sitting there like this is going to be replayed every year during the playoffs. And every single year when there's a short field goal in crunch time in the playoffs, they show that replay, and I was there. So that is why that is my number 2 pick.
Okay. Trying to think. I think I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Brookings when that happened.
The icing on the cake, though, was when we were going back to Aberdeen, and we listened to the Packers-Redskins game, and the Packers beat the Redskins in the playoffs just directly after that, and Kirk Cousins was the quarterback of the Redskins at the time.
Yeah, and that is forever why I will never like Kirk Cousins.
See, I don't mind Kirk, but I'm also a Packer fan. I didn't mind when the Bears kept signing Jay Cutler to keep playing for him. I like that.
Oh, I love Jay Cutler.
And Jackson, yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I don't recall where I saw it, but it was either online or on the television. I think it was just yesterday, I want to say. But yeah, I saw that exact same highlight of Walsh shanking that kick.
A few of my friends were at that game, actually a bunch of my kind of former roommates, and they told me that it was so cold that you could literally sneak in anything and they wouldn't have cared. You could people snuck in like Jack Daniel, like travelers.
I opened a beer because it was so cold, like my feet felt like there was icicles on them, and I decided after drinking a hot chocolate, I was gonna open a beer. I was gonna have a beer, and that thing was frothed up and slushy within 5 minutes of me opening it. But I will say this: I will give Vikings fans this. Bud Grant actually did the coin toss that day, and I believe to this day it's the third coldest game in NFL history. It was like negative 25 degrees, and Bud Grant came out there in a purple short sleeve Vikings polo and did the coin toss. So I was like, you know what? I hate the Vikings, but that's badass. So I gotta give it to Bud Grant on that one. That was a cool moment to see.
Oh yeah, that's typical Bud though.
Oh yeah.
Brian, your number 2 and number 3 picks.
Yeah, we won't talk about the coldest game ever. I believe that was the 1981 playoff game where the Chargers had to go visit the Bengals for the chance for the Super Bowl on the line. But we won't go there.
Negative 57 degrees.
59 wind chill or something like that. 57, yeah, something asinine like that. But yeah, we won't go there. That hurts a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to kind of piggyback on Jackson a little bit and go back to a game that I was at. I want to say 2006, if my memory serves me correctly. My brother Clint and I in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium, taking on then no, or did they win the Super Bowl that year? Anyway, they're playing Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. Sunday Night Football, Al Michaels, John Madden, and so the
You're not
whole
picking another Charger play, are you?
I guess again, I guess I misunderstood your rules.
Okay.
Let me backtrack then. So
Okay.
let's go another favorite play. Let me try to go back in my memory bank here. How about let's do this one? Since Vince Scully just currently passed away, I did not know until you posted this, Scotty, that he made the call for Joe Montana to Dwight Clark on the catch.
He did. He did
So,
indeed.
let's go with the catch.
That is that's an iconic play because, I mean, up until then, the 49ers were just known for losing to the Cowboys.
Right.
That's all they did. And that game was also the kind of a revenge game of sorts for the Cowboys because they had just beaten the living daylights out of the 49ers. And then the 49ers came back and beat them in the 81 regular season. And so it was like the rubber match. And so, yeah. Yeah. What's your take on Vince Scully, Jackson?
Oh man, Vince Scully is the greatest broadcaster of all time, 100%. I remember playing MLB 1999, 2000, 2001, the 989 Sports on PlayStation 1. And Vince Scully was the broadcaster on that. And that was truly the first time I really heard a broadcaster. Because I'd watch the Twins games and stuff. I couldn't tell you. I don't think, was it Dick Bremer back when?
Probably.
Might have been. I don't really like Dick Bremer. I'm sorry. I'm really just roasting Minnesota sports right now. But Vince Scully is like, I remember his voice, and I remember realizing that's Vince Scully when I got older and here in Dodger games. So Vince Scully is the absolute king of broadcasting, and there's nobody who could weave a story better than that man. And I just, for all the broadcasters that I've worked with the Trappers, and for every broadcaster that never got to meet Vince Scully, it's a shame because that guy was just incredible. And I heard, from multiple broadcasters on different broadcasts that day that he was the guy they would go to, and he was more than willing to help. Vince Scully was a legend in every sense of the word.
Yeah. That's a good pick there, Brian. You now have a third pick.
And I don't know why this one just came to my head and stuck in my head, but maybe it's again because I saw a clip of it recently. But again, don't recall what Super Bowl it was, but it was the Cardinals Steelers, correct? It was Kurt Warner and James Harrison picking off Warner and taking it 99, or was it even a 100+ yard touchdown down the sideline and breaking all those tackles and just a crazy momentum changing play.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, that's a Super Bowl that has multiple plays like that.
Right, great finish too. Yes,
there was a Larry Fitzgerald touchdown, and there was also the Santonio Holmes touchdown. Which, if you go to like a Gov's practice or any football practice, there are people that are still trying to do like the toe touch kind of catches in the end zone. So, Jackson, what do you remember about that game?
The Santonio Holmes?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I remember I was rooting for the Cardinals that day. And I remember when Larry Fitz, Larry Fitz took that to the house way too quick. Gave the Steelers too much time. This is the only time, by the way, that Roethlisberger was ever clutch. And it happened to be that Santonio helped him out big time by having one of the best catches of all time. But I remember the biggest thing I remember was seeing Larry Fitzgerald catch it, but he just turned on the burners. And he was so much faster than everybody else. I remember seeing that play, and he catches it. And he absolutely outruns that guy. Like, it's no problem. I remember that. It was a great Super Bowl. I really wish the Cardinals had won. But the Santonio Holmes catch was great. But I remember just Larry Fitzgerald just absolutely turning on the burners like I've never seen anybody to this day do. Not even like Tyreek Hill or anything like that. Because Tyreek Hill has never done that in such a clutch situation. Obviously, Fitzgerald and the Cardinals lost, but man, like he catches that ball and there's like 20 feet of separation, not even 20 feet, maybe 10 feet of separation, maybe. And then it's just like, there's no way they're catching him. The guy was just, he was so fast and he's still one of the greatest receivers of all time. So that's really what stuck out about that game. I thought the Cardinals had it on lock.
One of the craziest stats that I know of is Kurt Warner has 3, I think, of the top 10 passing yard records in the Super Bowl, and he's only won 1.
Yeah, because he had the game against the Pats.
Yep.
Yep.
Jackson, what's your number 3 pick?
A number 3 pick. See, I want to say like because you limited me, or else I would use like all of Aaron Rodgers' Hail Marys. Number 3 pick. I'm gonna go a little bit on the classic route again, and I'm gonna go with the Immaculate Reception.
Oh, it has to be in your lifetime.
It has to be in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah, that's
goodness.
what we were talking about before we came
it's gotta be in my
online. So
lifetime.
Yeah.
otherwise, that would be number 1
All
usually.
right,
Yeah.
all right, Scotty. You didn't say that. You said it had to be like my favorite teams. I can go with other ones. I'll tell you what. I don't even remember the Cardinals receiver that did it. But the play where the Cardinals receiver in overtime knocked the Vikings out of playoffs. That was great.
Nate Poole. God damn it.
There we go. Nate Poole catching that ball. It was unbelievable. And the Cardinals knocking the Vikings out of the playoffs. That was incredible. That was amazing. And the best part is the mayor of Green Bay gave him the key to the city after that.
I will
incredible play.
I will forever hate Josh McCown because of that. But I will also forever love Josh McCown because of his St. Louis Detroit mix up in like an interview he gave about what watching porn is like. And he's like, it's like one day you're like, you're on an airplane and you think you're in St. Louis. They're like, oh, welcome to St. Louis. They're like, what? I thought we were going to Detroit. And that's what porn is like. I'm like, Josh McCown, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going with Nate Poole. I'm sorry, Scotty. You have limited me now because I'm a young guy and I can't pick my Packers. So you know that you're going to get some heartbreak in this thing now.
I know. That's a good pick. I guess I have to go with a kind of a revenge pick then. And I don't believe they won that game, but who doesn't love a fat guy rolling down the field? I'm picking Dan Connolly's kickoff return against the Packers on Sunday Night Football. He goes like 70 yards for the Patriots. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Brady was injured or something like that. So either Brady was injured or Rodgers might have been injured. But because it was supposed to be like a Sunday night football game, 2 quarterbacks playing each other. And the most memorable play was this 300-pound lineman taking a kickoff return 72 yards.
Yeah, he took it inside the 10-yard line or something of that nature before, and they took him down or something of that nature, if I remember the clip correctly.
Yep. What do you remember that play, Jackson?
What year was that one?
I want to say it was like, 2009-ish? Maybe 2010-ish?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up because it's just not registering with me. I'm sorry, Scotty, but okay. I'm glad that you remember it.
Oh boy. Um, and then my next pick, I'm going to go. This is another pick from it's kind of an old one, kind of a classic. So it was like the first game ever at Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles. They're playing against the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brad Johnson throws a pass, and Joe Juravicius, of all people, tips it up and like a volleyball, comes back around and catches it. Look it up. The Joe Juravicius tip catch. It's freaking awesome. I love it. So it was on Monday Night Football. The Joe Juravicius tip catch. I love it.
Do not
Nobody
recall that
remembers
one.
it.
I do not recall that one.
I remember that one, Scotty. I remember that
Okay.
one.
Okay. Yeah, he had two great catches in that game. But I guess we're back to Jackson.
All right. So I'm gonna go with if you remember this one. This one's more of a hype play. It didn't really affect the game too much, but Jerome Simpson,
Oh, damn it. That was gonna be my
Cincinnati
next
Bengals.
pick. Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals when he does that flip over that dude.
Yep.
Oh man, that was sweet. That was he just I it just sticks out in my mind because I'm just like, who is this man? He just flipped right over him. And it was truly just an incredible feat of athleticism. So that's what I'm going to go with this the Jerome Simpson Cincinnati Bengals touchdown.
I want to say it was week 16, maybe week 15 of like 2010 against the Cardinals.
It was something like that, but he ended up playing for the Vikings later, right?
Yep.
Because everyone knew him as the flip guy. That's his whole career, honestly, is he's the flip guy.
Yep. That's a good pick.
Yeah, stump me on that one. I've got no recollection of that one either.
Oh, you got to check that one out. Just type in Jerome Simpson on YouTube. It'll probably be like the first 20 results.
Yeah,
it's incredible because he didn't do anything else really. That was his play.
He dislocated his finger in the final game at the Metrodome. I do remember that because like they showed him on the big screen popping his finger back in. I'm like, oh, that's nasty. And then Cordero Patterson scored the game-winning touchdown. But
good old Cordero.
Yeah,
that's a guy you wish you had back. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Brian, your next pick.
All right, gonna go a little old school here since I got a couple of years on the both of you here. How about one of the greatest athletes in our lifetime, even though an injury took out some of that athleticism? How about I believe it was the late '80s, early '90s. I believe it was Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson. I can't believe I'm gonna shout out a Raider here, but Bo Jackson against the Seahawks, taking that one down the sideline, just keeps the momentum going, goes down the tunnel, whole 9 yards, and just ends up, just demolishing the Seahawks on his own.
He ran into the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah, and then he ran over Brian Bosworth like a couple of plays
later in that game, right?
Yeah. So, and Brian Bosworth was not the same. That's a good pick. Very good pick. Jackson, you probably have seen that on a couple of highlight tapes of Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bo Jackson. Best athlete that's ever lived, besides Jim Thorpe.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Brian, you will have your fifth and final pick.
All right. Well, let's go something more recently in my mind. How about just from last year? How about Justin Tucker's 66-yard game-winning field goal?
I like that.
That bounces off the crossbar to beat the poor Lions, and just a crazy kick.
That's a good pick. That's a good poor Lions. The poor Lions. Although they do have maybe the most electric running back of all time.
Oh yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is really good.
Oh man. If Ryan Breeden heard you say that, it's like, oh man.
Oh, he'd have a fit.
Yeah. Jackson, what's your fifth pick?
My fifth pick, I got to go with Marshawn Lynch causing an earthquake
Okay.
against the
Good
Saints.
pick.
The 7-9 Seahawks, and Marshawn Lynch takes that to the house. He doesn't give up, and the YouTube video makes it even better.
Yep.
Darren Sharp, hold my dick.
Yep.
That's my favorite. I love it. And
Yeah.
so I am
Tracy
a big
Porter.
You know, Marshawn getting himself into a little trouble lately.
Yeah, I
But-
saw that. Yeah,
But-
if
Can't take that play away from him. That was one of the most electric plays. I mean, when your crowd causes an earthquake,
Yeah.
that's pretty darn cool. So yeah, I'm going with the Marshawn Lynch earthquake play.
okay. That's a good pick there. I'm looking at all of my things here. This is going to be my final pick, and I have, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Shout out to our mutual friend, JVD. He'll appreciate this one.
Oh yeah, I'll tell JVD to listen.
So I'll take you back. So I want to say a freshman in college at this time, and my roommate was like interning as like a page at the Capitol. So we're at the Pier Inn and Suites. We're in this hotel room.
Oh, you're at the Piss?
Yes.
Oh, shout out Rick.
And we're watching the Broncos and the Steelers play in a playoff game. And I want to say it was one of the first plays of overtime. Tim
It was
Tebow.
the first play, I believe.
Yeah. Tim Tebow throws it to, God rest his soul, Demaryius Thomas on like an 80-yard, just straight down the pike. And everybody just went absolutely nuts in that hotel room. Both of us, I should say, went absolutely nuts. And it's one of the greatest plays ever. So yeah, Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Honorable mentions. So I have a few. It says, because I had a bunch of things here. Joe Flacco's Hail Mary to Jacoby Jones.
That's a good one.
In that playoff game.
Beat the Broncos, yeah.
Antonio Brown kicking a punter on a punt return, just straight up karate kicking him on the Browns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Malcolm Butler's interception in the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones running 80 yards and then tripping over his own feet.
Myself.
Do you remember the River City Relay by chance? Either of you?
I don't recall that name.
Okay, so the Saints were playing the Jaguars, and the Saints had like one of those like weird plays where it had like multiple
laterals, right?
Laterals.
They tie the game, and John Carney misses the extra point. Right?
Yeah. And John Carney missed the extra point. The miracle at the New Meadowlands where Deshaun Jackson returned a kick that should not have been kicked to him. When it comes to Packers plays, I had Brett Favre throwing to Greg Jennings on the first play of overtime against the Broncos in 2006. That was a great play. The double doink. How dare we not talk about the double doink or the swinging gate with the Colts? One of the most bizarre plays. Like, oh, and yeah, that's that's my honorable mentions. Jackson, what are yours?
My honorable mentions, I can go with anything, or do I have to go with like
Yeah,
no
anything.
Packers?
Anything.
Oh, any of the three Aaron Rodgers Hail Marys, the pass to Jared Cooks, to set up the Mason Crosby field goal to beat the Cowboys. Shout out TC if TC ever is listening. Des Bryant not catching the ball, that's another good one. After that, there's some pretty good ones out there. I will say the Minneapolis Miracle. I'll give you that. That's a hell of a play. I didn't like it, but it's a hell of a play. And then after that, Greg Jennings with a broken leg and Madden. That's a good one too.
Yeah. What about Randy Moss's disgusting act in 2005?
You know what though? That made me a Randy Moss fan. Joe Buck can get his knickers out of the knot because that was awesome. I mean, Randy Moss, he had every right to do it. I know Packer fans are out there doing that stuff and everything like that. That was a fantastic celebration. And if we're going with celebrations, along with Joe Horn with the cell phone, that one was a good one too.
What was it?
That was
T.O. with the popcorn?
T.O. with the popcorn, T.O. with the Sharpie, but Joe Horn with the cell phone, planting the cell phone in the padding. That's fantastic.
A recent one, Ezekiel Elliott in the Salvation Army kettle.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Oh yeah, put me on the spot here. I guess Minneapolis Miracle kind of came to my mind as well when I was thinking about what else. Trying to think of some old school ones before you guys were born, but nothing really comes to mind immediately. Something in the '80s era, but I got
John the
really got
Montana to John Taylor in the Super Bowl against the
sure.
Bengals.
Again, not to give an opposing AFC West credit, but I suppose you got to put maybe John Elway in the, even though it was more than one play, obviously, but the drive and how that game ended.
The fumble with Ernest Biner.
Right. Let's see what else is out there. And just trying to think of some other like Super Bowl iconic moments and things of that nature as well.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Quentin Jammer or was it Quentin Jammer that intercepted Peyton Manning like 4 times in that playoff game?
It wasn't a playoff game. If you're referring to, we did once upon a time, and again, this is the game I was going to refer to earlier that Clint and I attended back in 2006. So it was Peyton Manning and the Colts on Sunday Night Football. So it's John Madden and Al Michaels and the whole 9 yards. And we ended up picking Manning off 6 total times that game. Cromartie ends up with 3 of the 6.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking.
And the Chargers end up needing a missed chip shot by South Dakota's Adam Vinatieri to pull the game out 21-19 or something like that. So
by the way, Jackson, you said that Big Ben was never clutch. He made a tackle on a Jerome Bettis fumble in 2005 against the Colts. Do
not care. Ben Roethlisberger stinks. He stinks.
How's your Boston Red Sox doing nowadays?
Well, let me tell you, they didn't win a series against the AL East this year until this week. They beat the Orioles in one game, which counted, according to Elias Sports Bureau, as a series win. So they got that one. And then they went 2 of 3 against the Yanks. So feeling pretty good. JD is still on the team. Xander's still on the team. Christian Vasquez not on the team. Kind of questioning that call because it's kind of a black hole at the catcher position. But Tommy Pham, fantastic pickup. Eric Hosmer, fantastic pickup. May not be popular in San Diego right now. But I tell you what, I think the Red Sox still got a chance. I might sound hopeless, but they still got a chance. Yeah, you're not a Padre fan, are you, Brian?
I don't follow baseball a whole lot, but the team I do follow, certainly I stick with my San Diego folks. So yeah, I do follow the Padres when I do follow baseball. So
Yeah, they're
it's been kind of some bummer news recently, obviously with Tatis's suspension, but we'll see what happens next year, I suppose. I mean, there's no way they're going to ever beat the Dodgers. They might, make the wild card here, but their Dodgers
what
are
was
just too
he
tough.
what was he doing that he contracted ringworm? That's something that I've only heard wrestlers getting.
See, again, I haven't read into it enough. I am not 100% sure where that came from. If it had anything to do with his wrist injury that he was recovering from, I have no idea.
Tatis is full of shit. If I'm being honest. Uh, he 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 said he got it mixed up with a steroid, is what it is, because they're very close in name. But it's like nobody's gonna write you a prescription for a steroid if you have ringworm type thing. So I think Tatis is full of it, and the Padres organizations come out and be like, "Hey, we need to get this guy to mature." I think the Padres got the pieces. Unfortunately, their franchise piece that they've been going around isn't getting the job done. But they got Soto, they got Machado, they got a bunch of studs. I mean, they're in good shape without Tatis. Unfortunately, Tatis would have put him over the top, I think. But we'll see what's going on. Unfortunately, and I love Tatis. I really do. I love his game he plays, but he's full of it. He's full of it right now.
We talked a little bit about this last week. What did you guys think about that Little League World Series thing with the sportsmanship and thing? We hated it.
I don't know. I think it's soft a little bit. I think it's a little soft. The kid got hit in the head. I mean, I got hit in the head how many times in Little League, and I'm not crying. And I hit many kids in the head in Little League, and I wasn't crying about it. So I mean, I get it. I think it's a little soft. I mean, it's cool, like you got sportsmanship and stuff, but seriously, you're crying on the mound because you hit a kid in the head. The kid got up, he was fine. You're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this past week, I'm surprised more people haven't used a bat as a weapon after getting hit by a pitch.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it initially looks bad when you get hit in the head like that, but yeah, it certainly caught a lot of helmet versus actual head contact. So
yeah, well, who was it last year? Was that Kevin Pillar that got just beamed in the face from the Mets? Just blood dripping down his
tough
face.
Dude, though. That guy's a tough dude.
Yeah. But thanks for coming on the show this week, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, Scotty. So anytime you want to talk Buffaloes or anything of that nature, let me know. We can certainly hop on and see how things go for Stanley County during the season.
All right. Stay on for the post show, and thanks for coming on.